Moon. You can see the sea of purple tonight. We've got folks from our Patwin community, and as they and you are aware, we've reduced kindergarten classes, 4 of them across the district, and created one K-1 combination due to low kindergarten enrollment expected for next year. Much lower, quite frankly, than we expected. To date, we're expecting to have nearly 100 fewer kindergarten students than we did in this current school year. The decision to reduce the number of kinder classes is never an easy one, and it raises concerns about class size and school viability from staff and parents. Let me state plainly that there's been no decisions to close any school as a result of unexpected decline in kinder enrollment for next year. That would involve you all and months of community discussion, which are not planned at this time. While these drops are significant, the first thing we need to understand is whether this decline is an anomaly or a trend, and that's going to take some time. I want to thank the parents and staff for writing with us. We will have to work together to address declining enrollment in our district. I'm looking forward to meeting with staff tomorrow to discuss their ideas, questions, and concerns further. This is a major issue impacting school districts across the state. For reference, in the 2016-17 school year, California began to see statewide declining enrollment. By 2019, more than half of the school districts in California reported declining enrollment. By 2023, last year, that number had risen to 73% of school districts reporting declining enrollment. Now, each year, our board, as you remember, in March, receives a demographic study prepared by a company, ironically, called Davis Demographics, which is the basis for our school staffing, budget, and facilities needs. For the past 20 years, they've been remarkably accurate, and unfortunately, we've seen a precipitous drop this year, far below our demographic projections. And making matters more complex, we made millions of dollars of reductions just a few months ago in order to maintain program, remain fiscally solvent, and improve employee compensation. And lastly, I want to underscore that the issue of declining enrollment is in part due to declining birth rates across the state, but in this town, it should serve as a wake-up call to anyone who does not understand the very real impact of little to no housing development within the city, specifically the West Davis community. They've seen virtually no new development over the past 30 years. As a result, students have aged out of homes that had children, and they're either not turning over to owners with children and sometimes not turning over at all. We must acknowledge that the lack of housing development continues to have a dramatic negative impact on our schools, and will continue to see this effect until new development brings more students to our schools. As way of reference, we have the fewest number of resident students than we've had since the mid-90s in Davis Joint Unified. Next slide.